Vermilion bird flames showed no signs of abating. Instead, they blazed ever more fiercely, as if seeking to forge entire sky of this pure land into a deep crimson glow. Even heavenly light was dyed through by this divine flame, transforming into flowing patterns of red gold. When eighth drop of source blood condensed between those withered fingers, voice of divine attendant Su Shang was completely engulfed by flaming light. Yet palm of Ling Xian divine official still did not withdraw. In her palm, ninth drop of divine blood was condensing. How terrifying was flame aura vermilion bird true god. At this moment, were it anyone else, their spiritual awareness would have long been extinguished, their mind and spirit utterly overwhelmed. Yet Yun Qi clearly perceived majestic divine aura contained within 9 drops of divine blood before him. This was by no means ordinary vermilion bird essence blood, but rather source divine blood that originated from vermilion bird's origin, rooted in core of her life force, with absolutely no possibility of regeneration. At same time, each trace of loss was accompanied by depletion of her lifespan. It was, in truest sense, a sacrifice that harmed oneself to bestow upon another. Flames upon her body grew increasingly gentle, yet flaming abyss in Ling Xian divine official's eyes dimmed layer by layer. Yun Qi opened his mouth several times, forcibly enduring true God's flame aura to voice. "Senior, you must not." He had only just met Ling Xian divine official. He did not know what virtue or ability he possessed to receive such a profound gift from her. If it were merely to continue vermilion bird flame, such source essence blood, a single drop would already be sufficient. Ling Xian divine official turned a deaf ear, and 9th drop of vermilion bird divine blood completely condensed between her fingers. Finally, her hand moved. Her 5 fingers slowly closed, and after a brief pause, her index finger suddenly extended, pressing upon Yun Qi's brow. In an instant, world before Yun Qi's eyes transformed into a boundless crimson sea of flames. A powerful, ancient, yet incredibly warm current slowly flowed throughout his entire body. His flesh, profound vein space, and soul sea were all bathed in a magnificent and warm crimson glow, dispelling all physical pain and burning away all negative emotions. It was a sense of peace he had never experienced since stepping into abyss, making him involuntarily want to sink into it, to sleep contentedly within this divine warmth. Amidst endless warmth and tranquility, he caught a faint trace of longing. In this moment, he suddenly understood why Ling Xian divine official had allowed her countenance to age, and why she had bestowed upon him such an extravagant gift. 3 million years of obsessive yearning and devoted guardianship, yet her figure had never been reflected in Mo Su's lightless eyes. Even if her divine beauty were 100 or 1,000 times more splendid, it was destined never to stir even slightest ripple in his gaze. Thus her heart and soul gradually lost hope, her countenance withered, and her lifespan had also drawn near its end. Now there had appeared in this world someone who could move his emotions and capture his gaze. Then let her vermilion bird flame burn upon this person's body, replacing her companionship, continuing her vigil. Compared to inheritance of vermilion bird flame, this was perhaps true meaning of what she called fulfilling her own wish. Another clear, resonant cry rang out across heaven and earth, awakening Yun Qi's consciousness from warm sea of flames. He opened his eyes, and world before him rapidly shed its red-gold halo. Divine shadow of vermilion bird with its wings spanning 10,000 miles seemed to have had its soul essence drawn away. Flowing glassy radiance upon its covering feathers began to dim layer by layer, like dying embers of sunset losing their last trace of brilliant color. At tip of tail feathers, not a single spark remained to fall upon dust. When long cry that pierced sky completely faded away, blazing divine shadow of vermilion bird shattered in an instant, transforming into countless fine fragments of flame that scattered with breeze into a sky full of crimson points of light, like a galaxy pouring down, or like fireflies bidding farewell to dusk. Surging crimson glow ahead transformed into layers upon layers of light gauze, slowly torn apart by an invisible wind, revealing Ling Xian divine official beneath dissipating divine shadow. Her complexion was deathly pale, yet at corners of her lips remained a gentle, compassionate smile. "Master!" Su Shang stumbled forward, supporting Ling Xian divine official's swaying divine form. Her face, originally elegant and untainted, had also lost all color just like her master's. "Master, why? Why did you go this far? There is no need to worry." There was no sense of loss in Ling Xian divine official's smile, only a faint trace of relief and contentment. I have merely lost remaining 70% of my lifespan. Remaining 30% for him is already sufficient. Tears instantly welled up at corners of divine attendant Su Shang's eyes, and for a long while she could not speak. Yun Qi had no time to sense vermilion bird blood within his body. He rose and bowed deeply. This junior Yun Qi thanks senior Ling Xian for her great kindness. There is no need for thanks. She patted Su Shang's hand, and with her support slowly took a step forward. Her increasingly turbid vermilion bird divine eyes examined Yun Qi once more. This is repayment I owe you, and also best destination for vermilion bird flame. Her finger pointed out, and a jade slip shimmering with crimson crystal flame light appeared before Yun Qi, then floated down into his hand. This tome is called The Vermilion Bird Spirit Solace Melody. To others who read it, it is merely a musical score for purifying heart and cleansing thoughts. But when played with vermilion bird flame, it can ignite divine sound and absolute flame sufficient to comfort spirits and redeem world. Name, Vermilion Bird Spirit Solace Melody, had long been thunderously familiar to Yun Qi's ears, even from lower realms. It was known alongside Golden Crow World Burning Record and Phoenix World Praising Canon as three great world-burning heavenly scriptures. Moment, Vermilion Bird Spirit Solace Melody, fell into his hands meant that inheritances of three great ancient supreme flame lineages had all converged within his body. Moment Crimson Crystal Jade Slip fell into Yun Qi's hand. It opened of its own accord. Musical score of Vermilion Bird Spirit Solace Melody appeared clearly before Yun Qi's eyes, and in his ears was soul-penetrating divine sound of Ling Xian Divine Official. The Vermilion Bird Spirit Solace Melody contains 8 chapters of musical scores. First 4 chapters are Flame Dawn Hymn, Spirit Pacifying Verse, Calamity Burning Tune, and Sparrow Heart Chant. These 4 chapters are relatively easier to comprehend. With your profound veins and pure heart, your speed of comprehension will surely surpass that of Su Shang in her time. Latter 3 chapters are Heavenly Plume Compassionate Voyage Music, Vermilion Clouds Rebirth Ballad, and Ashes and Calamity Mercy Song. First 2 not only require sufficient fusion between Vermilion Bird Flame and oneself, as well as extremely high comprehension, but also require a compassionate heart that grieves for heaven and pities world. As for 7th chapter, it requires even more perfect flame control, ultimate comprehension, a heart of utmost sanctity, and a flawless soul. Su Shang has cultivated for 10,000 years and still cannot ignite it. There is no need to force it. Yun Qi listened quietly. After Ling Xian Divine Official's voice faded, he closed Jade Slip and solemnly put it away. Senior's teachings, this junior will engrave every word into memory. Senior just mentioned that Vermilion Bird Spirit Solace Melody contains 8 chapters of musical scores. Could it be that 8th chapter has been lost? No, Divine Attendant Su Shang answered him. Final chapter of the Vermilion Bird Spirit Solace Melody is named Aria of World Redemption. Only Master can compose and play it, but... She did not continue, but Yun Qi understood completely. It turned out that 8th chapter was none other than Flame of World Redemption, one of 3 ultimate flames alongside Phoenix's Nirvana Flame and Golden Crow's Jade Shattering Flame. It was Flame of Conclusion, which could only be ignited at moment of one's demise. Cough, cough, cough. Ling Xian Divine Official suddenly let out a violent cough, accompanied by painful trembling of her divine body. Divine Attendant Su Shang quickly reached out to block continuous spray of bloody foam from her mouth. Yun Qi instinctively stepped forward. Senior! Ling Xian Divine Official, however, waved her hand, instead comforting him. Do not worry for me. Eternal rest is a sought-after liberation for this old woman who should have perished 3 million years ago. Primordial flame crystal you gifted me, which allows my final 1,000 years of remaining life to be free from torment of body-devouring pain, is already a great kindness. 1,000 years of remaining life. Yun Qi's heart violently stirred. Ling Xian Divine Official, one of 4 divine officials of Pure Land who had almost spanned entire history of Abyss World. After bestowing Vermilion Bird inheritance upon him, only had a mere 1,000 years of lifespan remaining. If you truly harbor feelings of gratitude that are hard to release, then focus your mind and listen to my 3 pieces of advice. Yun Qi stood upright, then bowed with utmost respect. Very well, Senior's words, this junior will listen to every word with reverence. Cough, cough, cough. Ling Xian, divine official's already aged face visibly withered further before his eyes. She took a few breaths to recover, then softly said, "Since you possess profound veins of Lord Nike and Phoenix Flame and Golden Crow Flame within you, you must know that among destructive power of 3 divine flames, Golden Crow Flame is strongest, Phoenix Flame is second, and Vermilion Bird Flame is weakest. But Vermilion Bird Flame is universally known as head of 3 divine flames. Do you know why?" Yunqi replied. "Although Vermilion Bird Flame is not skilled at incinerating living beings, it can warm and comfort soul, burn away all filth, and restrain all evil. It is praised by all worlds and revered by all spirits. It is truly worthy of being head of 3 divine flames." Ling Xian, divine official, smiled and nodded. "Good, very good. Eternal Pure Land is my homeland, but I am destined never to return. First piece of advice. If you are able to set foot in Eternal Pure Land in future, you must remember that Vermilion Bird Flame is only for comforting spirits and must not be used for evil. 1,000 years of remaining life. Yet destined never to return?" Doubt arose in Yunqi's heart, but he naturally could not voice it at this moment. He could only respond with utmost solemnity. "Understood. This junior swears here and now that this life I will absolutely not use." "There is no need to swear." Ling Xian, divine official, interrupted him. "Compassion lies in heart, not in words or deeds. Your promise is enough. Second piece of advice?" She looked at Yunqi, her gentle gaze truly like that of a mother looking at her own child. 9 drops of divine blood I have given you were taken from my vermilion bird origin, condensing a fraction of my source divine power. For an ordinary person, fully refining them would be enough to directly achieve demigod status. As for you, who possesses profound veins of Lord Nike, how much it can aid your growth, I cannot determine. But regardless, you must not be overly hasty. Remember to refine 1 drop every 3 years at very least. By no means should you try to achieve success overnight. Otherwise, depletion of divine source is a minor matter. If it harms your own foundation, I fear it will leave an irreparable, eternal regret. For Yunqi, risk mentioned by Ling Xian, divine official, fundamentally did not exist, but he could only obediently comply. Understood. Although this junior harbors an endless yearning for Vermilion Bird divine flame, to waste even a single trace of senior's grace would be an unforgivable sin. This junior will proceed cautiously, refining it slowly step by step, and will absolutely not rush for success. What he said was not false. But as for degree of his cautious steps and slow refinement, that was naturally for him to decide. "Good." Ling Xian, divine official, nodded again. Her previously steady breathing now clearly became shallow and hurried, each inhale accompanied by an unconcealable slight tremor, like a residual candle flickering in wind. Even crimson glow of her long robe seemed to have lost its luster. Hem of her garments swayed gently with breeze, but it no longer possessed spiritual agility of previous vermilion red flame shadow that lingered around it. Instead, due to Master's weakness, it gained a sense of heavy, drooping weight. Only gaze from her turbid eyes towards Yunqi remained as gentle as before. "Child, have you ever heard of pale flame from your master?" Yunqi nodded. "Ancestral goddess left behind 3 calamities and 3 blessings, and pale flame was one of 3 calamities, which was ultimately annihilated by Master. Although this was actually only told to him by Li Xiu day before. You know of it, that is best." Ling Xian, divine official's aura became increasingly unstable, and hand supporting Su Shang also began to tremble slightly, but she still spoke in a peaceful voice. "Since you know of pale flame, you should naturally also know its final outcome. Its source core was disintegrated by Lord Nike, splitting into 3 fragments, which were bestowed upon our 3 clans, Vermilion Bird, Phoenix, and Golden Crow. And this third piece of advice is, cough, cough, that you must never, because of legend of pale flame, attempt to fuse 3 divine flames of Vermilion Bird, Phoenix, and Golden Crow. WHY? Given Ling Xian, divine official's current precarious state, most appropriate response would have been to agree immediately and urge her to rest, but he still subconsciously voiced his question. Red jade hairpin holding her hair seemed unable to support white strands any longer. A few locks of hair slipped from hairpin, falling to sides of her cheeks, slightly obscuring turbidity in her eyes. She lowered her gaze and gave Yunqi a sufficiently clear explanation. Lord Nike was born of elements and feared no fire in heaven or earth, yet even he dared not ignite pale flame upon himself. Because once that pale flame is ignited, it will spontaneously generate a violent flame spirit. Even if it is a flame ignited by your own power, its flame spirit will absolutely not obey your will. It will only possess instinct to incinerate, burning both self and foe, wantonly causing unpredictable and uncontrollable terrifying flame disasters. Yun-Chi, however, main reason you must not attempt it is not this. Pale flame is a fire of calamity that can easily scorch through even body of a true god. It was a world-shaking disaster even in Age of Gods, let alone in present era. Cough, cough, cough. It is even more impossible and should not be ignited upon body of any living being in this age. If you force attempt out of curiosity and desire, you will most likely destroy your own foundation. Consequences are hard to predict. Cough, cough, cough. Master, stop talking. Su Shang could no longer remain silent. She tightly supported her master's swaying body. When she touched her arm, she felt only a chilling coldness. Even skin that usually carried residual warmth of vermilion bird was cold like a piece of ancient jade that had lost its divine aura. Yun-Chi quickly said, "Senior's words, this junior has fully committed to memory. Not a single word will be forgotten. Senior, please rest and take care of yourself. This junior will no longer disturb you and takes his leave." Su Shang had no time to speak. With a flick of her long sleeve, a clear breeze swept past Yun-Chi, causing ripples in space. With a blur of his vision, he was already outside Ling Xian divine residence. He did not leave immediately, standing rooted to spot, his heart filled with endless emotion and a sense of unreality. "She actually gave you such a heavy gift," Li Xiu also sighed, "is a genuine smile. Truly that important and precious?" Yun-Chi turned and slowly walked away. "You have not experienced 3 million years of guardianship and obsessive yearning, so you would not understand." "I truly do not understand," Li Xiu murmured softly. "Mo Su is obsessed with emotion, so he should understand affection Ling Xian holds for him. Why then? Is he unwilling to even grant her a smile?" Yun-Chi replied. "Because affection between man and woman is most selfish of things." Li Xiu was even more bewildered. "If affection between man and woman is most selfish of things, why then do you have a multitude of wives and concubines and beautiful companions?" "Shut up!" Yun-Chi's tone was forceful. "Don't interrupt my thoughts." Li Xiu was silent for a moment. Gradually, she sensed gravity of Yun-Chi's thoughts and spoke again. "Having received such a potent vermilion bird divine source, not only can you ignite vermilion bird flame, but after fully refining it, it is enough to achieve several times growth you've had in 4 years since entering Abyss, all within a short period. Why is gravity of your mood outweighing your joy?" Yun-Chi's brow furrowed slightly, unable to relax for a long time. In a little over 40 years, passage to eternal pure land will be opened. Yet Ling Xian, divine official, with 1,000 years of lifespan remaining, said herself that she is destined to never set foot in eternal pure land. She doesn't want to return? That shouldn't be case. Yun-Chi shook his head. For her, that is her homeland. She would only yearn to return far more than anyone else in Abyss. Moreover, at end of one's lifespan, shouldn't one desire to rest in their native land even more? "Brother Yun," a distant call interrupted Yun-Chi's thoughts. In his line of sight, Hua Kaylee fluttered towards him like a flawless jade butterfly, arriving by his side. "Kaylee, what are you doing here?" Joy blossomed in Yun-Chi's eyes. Hua Kaylee affectionately and naturally took his arm, her soft body leaning halfway against him, her eyebrows curved into a beautiful new moon. "Divine childs, I said you were with Granny Ling Xian, so I came to find you. Hurry, come with me to a place." "Huh, where are we going?" A breeze brushed his ear, and he was already being gently pulled away by Hua Kaylee. "You'll know soon enough." Star author's note. Regarding the secret tome mentioned by Shen Wuyi, it has appeared twice before. First time was in Chapter 2063, where Obsidian Evil Exorcising Crystal was obtained. Second time was in Chapter 21-4, where a newly opened page revealed that once intent of a glazed heart is inscribed, it remains until death, never to be betrayed. Adding Abyss Heart Vine obtained in God's Slumber Forbidden Zone, 5 of 6 necessary items recorded in Secret Tome have now been acquired, updated and modified by Leo.